So I just got to the studio. There's a specific deadlift that I keep seeing. It's just like a slightly altered version of a deadlift, and I've been working on it for the past I want to say week. So a lot of tricks that I want to do, I think I'm actually capable of. It's just kind of like training the muscles, like how are they supposed to interact on the pole. That's a lot of what I'll do when I'm training more strength-based moves is I will take a load off literally with this band. I'll feel out like what muscles, I'm mimicking kind of a deadlift push right now. I'll mimic out like what muscles are working in order to get me into the position, trick, or shape, whatever I'm doing on the pole. So that's what you're gonna see me do right now. I didn't bring any grip today either. No, it wasn't on purpose, but it's okay. Doesn't matter. Working on grip all the time. Might as well make it an extra challenge today. Another way that I train for harder, like strength-based movements is I'll look at a couple videos of like a couple different people or the same people doing the same movement, and I'll kind of like visually dissect like where their body is oriented, and I'll try and catch like where their major push and pull is coming from. So obviously the deadlift is going to be a lot of upper body. Thankfully, nobody was wearing lotion on this pole, or else I'd be in a world of pain. But yeah, your typical deadlift, you've got that pistol grip, also the band-aid on, that's great. So, yeah, okay. That version, I was feeling a lot of, it felt kind of funny on my shoulder, so I went out of it. I did not push myself past the limit there. I'm probably gonna lower my arm a little bit because the ankle is probably off. I have this on video too, so I'll probably pause the video and I'm gonna look at what I did and see where my form kind of collapsed a little bit. But that's the process right there. So I'll try things with a less load on, because if I had the full weight of my body and I just tried that, probably would not have been as safe. I'm gonna try this a few times with a band, and then once I get a little bit more in tune with the movement in my head, because it's still new for me, then I'm gonna try taking the band away and attempting the same movement, and that's just how I'm gonna train it. So I just paused the camera and I looked at the video of myself, and what I caught on that video was that my legs were out way too far. I'm gonna try and keep this leg that's inside you guys, I'm gonna try and keep it like as close as I can to the pole. Maybe placing the band a little bit closer into my hip might help. Okay. So that was way easier. I'm gonna pause the video and look at my legs, because that's my trouble spot. I'm doing heavier lifts like this, I'll always give myself a few minutes to like regroup and everything. Because as you can tell, like I'm lifting a whole lot of body weight right here, and this is not like a movement that you want to do like with hypertrophy training, where you're doing like 12 reps in a set and then you're going back to it within 30 to like 90 seconds. With a lot of inverted motions, even with like your basic choppers, I shouldn't say basic, your chopper straddle, whatever you want to call it, invert, that one, like I always go on to people about like look down, that's really gonna help. Same thing with deadlifting. It's like it is an invert, like our hips are going above our head. Also, I liked where the band was last time, so I'm gonna keep it like next to my butt. So I'm gonna have a couple like mental cues for myself. I'm gonna like visualize the movement in my head, like what I should be feeling. So I need like a moment of silence. It actually felt easier than the second time. My shoulder is feeling way safer, but I've already given it 3 rounds with the band, and I feel more mentally capable of doing the movement. I'm even out of breath. Okay, I'm gonna take the band off, or else leave it there and not use it, and then I'm gonna attempt it without the band. feel that something is getting a little bit tired, or I feel a muscle kind of getting a little bit like fatigued, or I don't know, if there's any sensation in there, I really, really pay attention to that. So my right shoulder, it's not like hurting or anything, but I'm definitely feeling like it's getting worked, and that's not a bad thing. I just am very, very, very protective over my joints because I have been injured before. I'm terrified of being injured, but I'm not terrified to the point that I'm not gonna like push my limits, but I know my limits now very well. Figuring out your own limits is pretty important, I think, too, when you are attempting harder movement. Let's say you're doing like an invert, okay, chopper invert. Intuitively, people put a lot of their weight in the bicep, and they don't like distribute that load throughout like the back, let's say, or in the core. You're not able to execute a move as well because you're not equally distributing the load on all the different parts of your body that need to put in that work. And that's another reason I like bands, is because it gives you a moment to like pause and hold into those like tough positions. And then that kind of trains, you know, the neurons in here of how it should feel if everything is working together. So I'm a little fatigued, and that's my signal to stop it. I know I said that I'm not gonna do it again, but I was looking at my form, and I'm just like, that foot, like that leg was just not close enough. And it might look fine on camera, like, you're deadlifting, what do you want? I just want it to look a certain way. And it could be a strength thing, it could be. But I want to keep my legs closer to the pole. This is gonna be the last one. Oh, okay. I looked at my foot, and that helped. So you can put in like, what is it? I've been training for like half an hour at this point. You can put in half an hour of training, and then it's like, oh my gosh, like there it is, there's the light bulb. That's why I like bands. If I look at my foot, then I can kind of make sure that it is going close enough to the pole. So it is day 2 of training this trick. I took a couple days off of pole. I'm gonna be going back into static, just repeating basically everything that I was looking at the last time with you guys, a little bit more rested. We're gonna go ahead and give this a go for round 2, keeping all of the tips and techniques that I learned about last time in mind, and then using that in today's training. Ooh, the band even came off. Actually way easier than last time. So I actually feel really confident in my approach into that deadlift. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to start working it into a combo. And I have a lot of confidence going into this trick today for some reason. Some days pole's just like that, where you just feel way more confident doing specific tricks. The combo that I'm gonna attempt to do is spinning into that deadlift entrance. I'm gonna try moving my feet up as fast as I can, but I know my sticking point is right before my feet like get to the highest position. Good to know your sticking points. Is probably what I would like tackle the most in my conditioning for this deadlift, which is probably something I'm gonna do after. I felt way more confident the next time around that I attempted that combo, but I feel way more confident in that deadlift move than I did a few days and even weeks prior. I know it's not perfect, like I'm looking at the video and I'm seeing some micro bending in my knees, but those are just like little kinks. And just that last time I attempted the combo, I entered my deadlift a little bit quicker with a little bit more momentum instead of that rigid lift, which usually is a thing that holds me back. So moving forward, I have all these little things to keep in mind when I do go back and attempt this trick. So that's how I train for a lot of my more advanced, heavier movements. And this definitely would apply if you are training even a beginner level movement. And that's just personally how I train for my own progression. And I really enjoy this method. I like kind of being in my own head, looking at videos and comparing the yesterday me to the today me, and then thinking about where I want to be. So all 3 of those me's involved, and it showcases so much perseverance, and it gives me so much confidence. And I personally just get a lot of enjoyment out of teaching myself. I like teaching in general, so if I can teach myself something, that's even better.